If you like searching Netflix for something new to watch, you've probably found a very innovative, often shocking program from South Korea. Squid Game has hit #1 in 94 countries, including the U.S. It's part of an effort by Netflix to gather programming from all over the world and present it in local languages. Carter Evans shows us how new technology and much more attention to detail can turn sound dubbing into an art.
A player who refuses to play will be eliminated.
Please, I can't go on!
The Korean drama Squid Game follows hundreds of people deeply in debt who play a series of children's games competing for cash.
We'll be playing red light, green light.
You either win or die trying. Netflix says more than 142 million households around the world streamed the show in its first month. And that giant doll that terrorized players on screen is a pop culture sensation. From Mexico to Moscow, the Squid Game phenomenon is everywhere.
Hey, did you hear that?
Korean-American Greg Chun is the English voice of the main character, Song Gi-hoon. According to Netflix, casting actors of Asian descent for the dubbing was a deliberate choice.
That's our job in there, is to make every moment as believable as possible and try to convey as much of the original intent emotionally and dramatically that we can.
Okay, you're nothing but a skinny old woman, so I'll let you win.
But this is what might come to mind when you think of dubbed foreign movies.
But I must find out the truth. Yes, of course.
Kung fu films from the 70s and their laughable lip syncs.
Somehow we must get him. At any cost.
Well, that means you were given the #1.
Now Netflix is working to change that perception.
A person died. That man there just died.
By recrafting the dubbing process.
It's so much more work than people realize.
In an LA recording studio, Squid Game dubbing director Madeline Heil showed us how it's done.
We need to be out by the end of the word, not the end of the punctuation. Okay. It's so difficult to try to preserve all the nuances when you just don't have a lot of time or there are not enough lip flaps.
But still fitting it.
Fitting it in. Yeah.
Hello, cards.
The original script is translated, then the actor and director work together to ensure the dialogue fits the movement of the mouth on screen.
You really expect us to buy that?
In Korean, the way the language is structured, there are all these sort of pauses that wouldn't exist in English if we were expressing the same sentiment.
It's more like you just finished running breathing.
You want people to get sucked in and not to be rattled out of it by like, oh, that looked weird.
Oh, he's breathing with his mouth open, but his mouth is closed. Ah!
Your mother and I were talking the other day. She told me you were out of the country on a business trip.
Eventually, getting to the point where, you're 2 episodes in and you're not even paying attention to the fact that they're speaking English and they were originally speaking Korean.
You're in grave danger. Follow me, quick.
Since 2019, American viewership of Korean dramas, including The King's Affection, has increased more than 200%.
You're early?
I told you. I've changed.
And the attention to detail during dubbing is turning other non-English Netflix shows into hits, like France's Lupin and Spain's Money Heist.
But now all of you are here as our hostages.
The process is a little like karaoke. Chun reads the translation as it scrolls across the screen.
Hey, did you hear that?
We've got our screen here.
Greg invited me to give it a shot. How hard can it be?
The words are going to go by as it goes along. You want to kind of keep one eye on that, keep one eye on the picture and the mouth. If you're moving, if you're standing up, if you're turning this way, it affects the way your speech comes out. It's subtle, but if it's not done, it's noticeable.
I would imagine that facial expressions, they impact the way that your voice sounds.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Hey, did you hear that? A person died. That man in there just died.
You're pitching up a little bit because you're trying to sound like him. His voice is you.
Got it.
He's you.
Big, my man, big. Yell, yes.
Bigger. Wow, that is out of my comfort zone because that felt very big for me. Could someone do something? I won't be getting a call back. This is a lot harder than it looks. Dubbing has evolved into a form of art.
You have to respect the writing as well as the on-camera actor's performance. It's a big balancing act.
Voiceover actors have to be really humble because you're not originating a performance. You are honoring someone else's performance. But it's those kind of people who are willing to go, okay, I don't get to make the big choices. I have to color in what the original actor has left for me to flesh out.
Follow me, quick.
Greg Chun has brought more than 200 characters to life, from Barbie's dad.
Remember I made that Ancient Artifacts documentary a while back?
Dad, you're being weird.
To the scientist who resurrects dinosaurs.
That Ankylosaurus has only been incubating for 10 weeks.
But he daydreams about meeting the real star of Squid Game.
I would love to meet him. I would freak out if I met JJ Lee, man. I mean, to say it's an honor to be his voice for this show is an understatement. Someday, maybe.
Green light.
And with promises of a season 2 on the horizon, that day may come. For CBS Mornings, I'm Carter Evans in Hollywood.
I think that looks fun.
That was really, I mean, first of all, I'd never watch movies with overdubs because of my experience as a kid growing up watching those great Shaw Brothers movies from Hong Kong. It just scarred me. So I want to hear the original language and I read the subtitles. But when you see the amount of work that it takes to get it right now, to make it not look cheesy, whew.
I grew up on foreign films. And let me say, Carter Evans.
Yes, Carter.
You did a great job. It is harder than it looks like. Well done.
I think Nate could do well at that too. It does kind of. I now feel I'm missing something. Not seeing
You gotta
Squid Game.
watch Squid Game.
I do. I gotta watch it. I gotta put on my big girl panties and do it. Do it.
Your big girl what?
Panties. Panties, Vlad. Panties.